What's going on YouTube? JT Warren here, and welcome back to another edition of my DC comic book reviews. And in this video, we're talking about DC vs. Vampires World War V. This one is written by Matthew Rosenberg with art by Otto Schmidt. Now, Matthew Rosenberg was one of the co-writers on the first series with James Tynion, and Otto Schmidt was the main artist on that one. So this is the sequel to that. Now, DC vs. Vampires, I thought had some good stuff to it, but the ending felt like such a non-ending, and I was wondering, like, they have to do some sort of follow-up because it was so anticlimactic. It felt like so much of the plot just was not resolved in any capacity, and we had to wait a really long time for this sequel series because DC vs. Vampires, I think, ended at like December 2022, and I covered all the issues on the channel. You can check those out. But like over like an entire like year and a half to get this follow-up series, I did like almost 2 years to kind of get this follow-up series, I think, right? Yeah, like a whole year. And yeah, so better late than never. So I mean, if you just read DC vs. Vampires, you can jump right into this thing, but this one was a pretty solid first issue. I don't know how many issues are going to be in this. It's probably going to be, it didn't say like on the front, I think, if this is like a 12-issue miniseries or whatnot, but it is clearly labeled Elseworlds End. So basically we're getting the status quo of how things have kind of changed. John Stewart and Kyle Rayner return to Earth because they were gone for a few months and find that it's infested with vampires. Kyle Rayner, unfortunately, dies, and his ring kind of gets sent off into, like, somewhere to kind of, like, be picked up later on. I have a cool theory about where I think that can go. Meanwhile, Damian Wayne, who is now a vampire himself, as you know, he was turned in the last series, is basically just on a hunt for all the other vampires. He wants to basically just kind of wipe them out because humanity was pretty much just enslaved by these things and the world just went to total crap. But there's also a bit of a peace treaty going on between some of the humans and some of the vampires. Like, on paper, that's what they're kind of going for, but really the vampires have still been trafficking various people, and Damian is basically just like, he's not going to allow this tyrannical thing to kind of keep going forward. So for whatever, I don't know exactly how or why he's the one who has the willpower to kind of resist the whole vampire thing. I wonder if they'll give some sort of explanation for that, because like when the other ones turn, they just become pure evil. With him, it's like he has this mentality like, I am not going to give up. Like, he's too damn stubborn for it all. Like, he has the will to continue, which I do have a cool theory, and I hope this is the case, that he does get that Green Lantern ring, and we get something I wanted to see for a while. I've always wanted to see Damian wield a Green Lantern ring because I think there was some concept art for like a Super Sons arc where he does, but we never really got that. So Vampire Damian holding a Green Lantern ring would be really cool, but we'll see if it goes to somebody else. But given his will to kind of resist the vampire mentalities in some regards, I think it would be kind of cool to see happen. But yeah, so he's been working with Batwoman. He's basically the only one in the Resistance, because you have John Constantine and, you know, Talia al Ghul, Green Arrow, Black Canary, who are in a bit of a peace treaty with the vampires at this time. So that's kind of the new status quo, although the vampires are still doing sneaky stuff off to the side. And Ollie is just kind of fed up with the whole thing. He's kind of tired of the way the status quo is nowadays. It's like, it's only a matter of time before like the vampires fully turn and they're pretty much all like done for. So there's some cool elements to it for sure. We get some violence. There is a new Batman showcased in this thing, and I'm sure it's probably gonna be, what is his face, Jace Fox. Remember, like, the whole like I am Batman as this new version of Batman, and at least in this context it would make sense why somebody would step up as Batman, whereas like when they were kind of showcasing that storyline in the present with Jace as like the new Batman, Batman was still ongoing and active in his duty, so like why would he replace him? Very many questions when it comes to some of the stuff. So yeah, so there is a new Batman going around wiping out the different vampires, and it's left ambiguous who it is. I'm pretty sure it's Jace Fox, or maybe it'll be a new character entirely. So and then of course we have Dinah and Ollie kind of doing their thing, and Ollie's like, all right, I'm gonna get on Damian's side, we're gonna take these vampires out. Meanwhile, Barbara Gordon is of course the vampire queen. She killed Dick Grayson in the last series and was basically like kind of given power, and it kind of ended on that cliffhanger where it was like, it felt like so much was unresolved, and that's why I just did not like the way that last series ended, because it's like, unless I knew, like, had I known it was gonna be a 2-year wait for a follow-up series, I would have been even more ticked off. But now that we're here, it's like, okay, finally we're kind of kicking in the high gear. Otto Schmidt's artwork is pretty good. There is a part where, you know, we get to see the ruthlessness of Vampire Queen Barbara Gordon, and we see Hush kind of confront her, and there's a bit of a cliffhanger ending where he says one line to her, and it's basically like sip temper tyrannus, which means like basically like tyrants will never like this is a message. He was like a message sent from Damian. It's like tyrants will never, you know, get the last laugh. Basically, like tyrants are all going to fall. And so maybe she's dead, maybe she survives, but this is a pretty good first issue. And I do want to see the storyline wrapped up in the sequel series. Like I want to see the vampires finally lose, because it's been kind of a depressing state of affairs for this storyline. But this is actually a pretty good one, and the artwork is really nice by Otto Schmidt. I don't know how many issues this Elseworld storyline is going to be. I'll just keep the good artwork up, keep it focused, and give us a really strong conclusion. I think we'll get something pretty solid. But yes, I do want to see Damian with that Green Lantern ring, because I've seen Deceased. I saw Black Canary wield one. I'm sure Green Arrow has wielded one before. Give me Green Lantern Damian in this thing. That's something I want to see. I think that would be kind of cool. And yeah, let's see how this thing all ends. But yeah, good stuff overall. What did you think of the issue? Post your comments down below. Be sure to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the YouTube channel for more content, hit that bell for notifications, all that fun stuff. I'm going to get going. Hope you enjoyed this video, and talk to y'all later. Peace out.